here to talk about How to Get Away with Murder, Season 2, Episode 6, Two Birds, One Millstone. And we're basically 2 weeks prior to Annalise getting shot. And they're still on the Caleb and Catherine's case, but they don't have any other suspects. So that's their whole job during this whole episode, is to find another suspect. And when Annalise is talking to them, her friend or fellow professor named Jill called and said, "Oh, I killed my husband." Annalise pretty much handled this situation, aside from Bonnie, on her own. So the kids had, that one task to do. When she's on her way to see Jill at the crime site, which is at her home, she asked her, were there scrapes and bruises, were there a tussle, everything. When she get there, she noticed that everything she told Jill, she actually did. Okay, the police confronts Jill and is like, "Your husband found out you was a transgender and you killed him." She's like, "No," but she threatened the police, so she ended up getting arrested. And I couldn't really tell if she really did it for what she said or she didn't, because she had her teacher assistant lie and said she saw the husband beating on her, and then she framed the crime scene, which the police knew it was textbook what she did. So it's a possibility, because Annalise was talking to her before they got there, that she coaxed her to do all these things, and so it's like you're accessory after the fact. And so I couldn't really tell if she was being truthful, because she said that he beat her and she hid it well. So did you play on the fact that Annalise was your friend, for one, and then she has been accused of murder and she got off? I couldn't quite put my finger on was she telling the truth or not. But anyway, Asher asked Annalise to help him with his situation. He also told her the truth about what happened at the lake, which we still didn't know. And he asked, "My dad's calling me," probably asking him, what the hell going on? You said you was going to testify. We had deals, and then now you flaked out. So he didn't talk to his dad, asked Annalise to handle it. Annalise took it upon herself and dragged his dad under the bus, which she was already mad for a prior trial that he probably had tampered with. So she went into the DA and was like, "Look, I give you this evidence against the judge if you drop the charges against my client, and then you have Sinclair stop, chasing after me, and let it go." They agree. Asher finds out about it, but Bonnie told her, she's like, "Look, don't do that. That's his dad and stuff." And we everybody else in this house and grew up. It's time for Asher to grow up. I know he gonna be mad. His dad came and told him, "We're done." And they probably did look suspect, because his dad been trying to call him and he thinks he been avoiding him for that. But he's done with him. That's messed up. So I already know he mad. The case get dropped. Okay, so let's move on to the kids trying to find who's the other suspect. Asher brought up, "Why don't you talk about the biological parents?" Caleb, especially Caleb, didn't want to do that. And Michaela was like, "No, we're against that. I'm adopted. No, we're not going to do that, because they sacrificed for their kids to have a better life." Caleb had a moment. They were at the house asking about suspects. They were talking about them. Connor was like, "Ooh, Caleb's blood is nice. Michaela, you need to get on it." Then, I don't understand. It was on the table. It had a big old microphone on there. So how did you not see that? Laura sees it and then found out that Catherine was recording them. They listened to it. Caleb, all of them was like, they don't want them to have anything to do with the case. Annalise was pissed. They still continued to look for it. And then they have Oliver break into the adoption agency files, and they see that the aunt had a kid that didn't know one know about it, and she created this charity organization, and it had a account linked to it, and basically took care of the kid. So they're like, the kid probably got rid of the parents and the aunt, and then set them up, or trying to get rid of them so they can get the money. Okay, let's move forward. Oliver decides to continue looking for the kid, hacks into his computer. If he a hacker, how you hacking somebody's computer, but you don't know somebody hacking in your computer. They must just be that better. Anyway, he tells Connor they're looking at his page or his computer, and the guy, because his name is Philip and he don't live that far from the mansion, he's actually looking back at them. So I just feel Oliver might be in a little trouble. About Rebecca, Wes is still on his craze about Rebecca. He calls Nate. Nate's like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. I'm done. Because this got something to do with Annalise. I'm done. And then, you know, Michaela, Connor's like, let's drop this. Laura, you know, was at Frank's house having sex with him. She going through his stuff. So Laura's like, let's ask Frank. They confront Frank and ask him about it. And he says that, yeah, the money was hush money for Rebecca, but she never called to claim the money. So her loss. Okay. I feel like Frank took Laura to his house. I feel like he took her to his house because he likes her, and then also to smooth stuff over because he feel like she's suspecting him like Wes did, because the other two didn't come to him. They did. We're interested to see how that goes. Frank tells Annalise that Nate's wife died. So she goes and give him a peach cobbler. She knocks on the door. He didn't answer. She goes back again. And he opens the door and he's mad like, because of you, I went to jail and it took time away from my wife. Okay, it did, but you're the one, he gave her the pill to die. You took your time away yourself, and then she was sick when you was having an affair with Annalise, and you still would have had an affair with Annalise hadn't she framed you. So don't put all that on Annalise. Like, you need to own up to what you're doing, Nate, because you weren't caring when you was having sex with Annalise. Your wife just didn't not get cancer. She had it for a minute, and then you've been dealing with Annalise for a while, so don't totally blame her. Wes sees it, and then he's mad. She goes and tells him, like, you know, Nate's wife died, and then she tries to talk to him. I think when she do this, it's kind of like a manipulation that she does. He's like, don't you touch me! Don't you touch me! And then, and she brought up his mom. His mom killed herself when he was 12. And he was like, you're nothing like my mother. She sacrificed everything. Excuse you? Annalise, you the one that actually killed Annalise's husband. She could have called the police and you would have been in trouble. She's saving your life. I mean, she's not the best person in the world, but she is keeping you out of jail. No. It was you killed her husband, even though she didn't love him as she used to, but you killed her husband. So he about to go crazy to me. Caleb flirts with Michaela, so that's gonna be juicy as time go by. Let's go to current day. Frank goes to the hospital and was like, don't let her die. He was acting, ooh, it was good. And then he get outside, because he did it all for the cameras and probably to have an alibi. He got out the camera and started smirking. Then we see Catherine's body is in the car. I thought she was dead. And I was like, you just gonna have her sitting up in your car, in your back seat? I mean, people ain't gonna really be looking in your car, but they could be looking in your car. And then you have a nice car. Why would you put somebody's body in your car? And if they want to and they check it, they can check it for a lot. So you probably can check it for Rebecca in your car. You can check it for Cat. Like, you need to have a second car to do all this. Anyway, we see that he takes Catherine in the woods, and then she wakes up and the police find her. I'm not sure what's going on with that because Kayla is at Michaela's house, so I don't know. And then, let's see. Bunny meets with Sinclair, and Sinclair's like, yeah, your boss got me off the case, but I still have the hairstyle case. And, like, maybe you want this about your boyfriend. Bunny's like, I'm not playing a game. Asher gang raped the girl, Tiffany, that Sinclair has been blackmailing Asher all the time. It's bad. There are so many people that could have killed Annalise. Let's talk. Wes thinks Annalise killed Rebecca and lied about it. Connor probably is gonna be mad because Oliver is probably gonna be in trouble because the guy is watching Oliver. But that's Connor's fault because Annalise never asked him to get Oliver to start hacking stuff. But then eventually she did. But that's his fault because she didn't say like that's a requirement. That's what he did. That's his fault. Bunny is going to be probably mad because she going to find out that Asher saw the tape. Asher's going to be mad because his dad now just owned him. And then they, of course, is mad with Annalise because of the framing and then getting him locked up, and then he didn't have time to spend with his wife. So there are so many people. I don't think it's Wes because he already killed, so that's just a repeat. Bunny already killed. Frank already killed. I'm thinking it might be probably going to be Asher. I like when Annalise told Wes, like, she technically didn't lie. She was like, I don't know where she is. She don't. And she also said a clue. She was saying, it's my job to know all about y'all. So she already know all about that